Welcome to Collecting Chaos. My name is James, and today we're going to take a look at the cover and see how it came out. And then we're going to start working on the first signature of our Army at War number 269. And we're going to do all of that right after this. So let's go ahead and get started. Take this off. And as I told you before, the nori paste doesn't stick to the Teflon. There it is. I'm not going to trim this yet. I'm going to hold off on that until I'm ready to put the whole thing back together. So there you go. It's it's in one piece, and it isn't. You know, this is all together. I'm kind of happy with the way that turned out. So I'm going to have to stick that in a in between a couple of treasury size boards or Life magazine boards. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to get set up to start working on these signatures. So be right back. And I'm back, and I've got my puppy pad, I've got my cutting board, and I've got a brand new sheet of Kollecting because the other ones were getting a little worn out. And we have wrap 1 of signature 1. And I think what I'm going to do is take a lesson from Professor Pete, and we're just going to wet this down before I do anything else. You can see there is a little bit of scarring on that cutting board. And then I'm going to set this on it. I pulled it a little bit tight when I was setting it on there. Now this is going to have to be, I'm going to have to fix that, and I want to do a teeny bit of leaf casting up here and along here. Not much, just a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and finish wetting it down, and what I'm using is a mixture of calcium hydroxide, water, and methyl cellulose. A tiny bit of soap. Not much, just a little tiny bit. And then we're going to set this one down. What did I do? There it is. And get out my little squeegee. And all I'm doing it right now is making sure it's nice and flat. But there are some areas that might need a little work. right. I'm just going to leave it like that and let it soak for a few minutes. And then I'll come back to it and squeegee it off. And then I'll spray it down with just plain water and rinse it out a little bit, and then come back with methyl cellulose on it. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this back a little bit. And where's my... We're just going to get any residual glue that's on here and get rid of it. And I figure since it's nice and wet, that shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, that worked out pretty good, I think. But there is a crease there that I'd like to get out. I might have to press it and then try to get it out. Got it off pretty good. I'm going to flip this over. Which is pretty easy to do as long as it's on that Kollecting. Spray it again, maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'll try something risky. Do not try this at home. I'm what you call an idiot. That was dangerous. That would have been real easy for that to tear, just split right open. I had some luck with me. Yeah, much better, much smoother. Got that crease out of the middle. And I'm not feeling any lumps from the old glue at all. So that's a good thing. We're going to go ahead and spray this side again. I'm not trying to get all the tannin out of it, but if I wanted to do that, I'd be soaking it. But I don't want to soak it. And we'll be back in a bit. Alright, let's see what we got here. Alright, take some water. I'm going to try something that I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to go ahead and try it anyway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and try to add a little bit up here before I do anything else. Of course, before I do that, we're going to take this wrap off, and we're just going to roll it up. Use my squeegee just on the bare. And I probably should do this from the other side, but I'm not going to. Now, okay, I forgot to turn the camera on, so you missed the part where I added a little pulp up here, and a little bit down here. Now I'm going to cover it with Teflon, because why not? I'm going to flip it over and add a second Teflon sheet. Slide this under the Teflon with the smooth side up. I know that I should have this directly against it, but trust me, I have a madness to my method, okay? And then we'll put this on here, and I'm going to stick that in the press for a few minutes, for a little while. And then I'm going to go ahead and do this one. I'm going to go ahead and do the second part of the first signature. I'm not going to film the second part to the first signature because I'm going to do exactly the same thing I just did with this. And I do have... I've got a way to do all of this, so it's not a problem. So that's what I'm going to do, and then I'll show you the results of both of them. Okay, it was at this point on the first wrap of the first signature that I forgot to turn the camera on. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I did on that one. I rolled this up right off of there. We're going to go ahead and do a little more squeegee on it, even without the rolling. Yeah, I know I shouldn't do that, but it's okay. And then I'm going to do something. I'm trying something a little different. This is the pulp that I have left over from doing Tarzan. And it's probably not going to be a perfect match, but I'm not too worried about it. But I do want to just add a little bit up here. And I added more water to this. And let it run a long time in my blender. That's basically how you make pulp. You add paper to water in your blender and you go for it. Alright, let me take this and make sure I get the right side. This is the right side. Put it down here and flatten that out a little bit. I'll put it on this side and do the same. And I'm going to take this and scrunch it up. Got a little left here, and it looks like there's a corner missing. We'll just go ahead and put some on there too. On both of them. I'm just going to go ahead and flatten it with this. Alright. So what do I do next? Roll this back out. Nope, that's not going to work. Let me take it all off. And in case you're wondering why I'm taking it all off, I did this with the first one too. I want to paint the whole cover with methyl cellulose. Or the whole wrap with methyl cellulose. And the first wrap that I did exactly the same thing. I put the pulp on and went, oops, methyl cellulose first. Now, here's something I didn't tell anybody. I add a tiny bit of methyl cellulose to my pulp. Yeah, I do that. Alright, got to go get a refill. Hope I have enough. I kind of skipped part of it once again I forgot to turn my my camera on. I'm getting really good at that. And we're just going to take this, roll it. There was another part that I didn't show you. I just put the Teflon down, and I meant to put down a paper towel first and then the Teflon. Now I have a spare shelf, so I can do two at once. And what I'm talking about is I have a shelf, a wrap with all of this stuff in it, another shelf. This wrap will go in above that, and then a third shelf on top of that. And then all of that gets pressed down with my Vivor press. Well, I think that's going to fill nicely. And I left my well, crap. I left the plexiglass in the other room. I'm not going to go get it. I'll just take the whole thing on the cutting mat. So I'll be back after this dries and I can show you the whole thing. And that'll be the end of the video. Okay, I pulled them out of the press. Let's see how they look. Now I knew that the pulp that I put in there was not going to match, but I was okay with that, and I'm still okay with it. Let's see how the other side of it turned out. It's not too bad. I'll have to trim that. That's not a big deal, and I'll have to clean this up a little bit, but I can do that with a little bit of water and a Q-tip or a cotton swab. And that sealed the hole pretty good. It's still a little tiny bit damp. I think I'm going to give it a heat press. It feels like there's a couple of small wrinkles in the paper. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a heat press. And I'll probably show you that on the next video rather than on this one. Yeah, go and do a heat press on that one. Protect it with that. We'll take this off because I'm not going to need it. It's, like I said, it's still a little damp. Not so damp that I have to worry about it. It's just a little tiny bit. Let's look at the second one. Oh, I don't like that at all. A lot of wrinkles on that paper towel. Yeah, it's probably okay. This is also a little damp still, so it, oh yeah, a lot of wrinkles. I think I'm gonna put this one in my humidity chamber for a couple hours before I do a heat press on it, because there's a lot of wrinkles down here. Now the heat press will probably take all of those wrinkles right out, even without the humidity. But I can only do one of these at a time in my heat press. Because my second press is burned out, I have to I have the electronics at a friend of mine that does that sort of thing. He's going to see what he can do. This turned out pretty well. I like that, the way that turned out. And like I said, it doesn't match. That's okay. I'm not too worried about it. But these wrinkles are terrible. So I'm going to put this page in my humidity chamber while I'm pressing the other one. And then we'll go from there. Don't really need that. I will need this. Yeah, that's the way I want it. So we're going to stick that in the humidity chamber and then press the other one. This one goes in the humidity chamber. I'll show them at the beginning of the next video. And I'll also be working on the next two. While I do that, I may show the next two while I'm working on them. I might not. I haven't decided yet what I want to do with that. In the meantime, have yourself a great couple of days. I'll see you Wednesday night on my live stream at 8 p.m. Central Time. And of course I'll drop another video Wednesday to show you the results of this and the other page, and we'll keep working on it. We got to get this done. So see you later. Have a great couple of days.